DG Nation, all my dysfunctional geniuses around the world. I'm proud and happy to have another day to breathe in this good air, talk to you guys, and express myself. Today, there are few people and minds who believe that the average human being does not have the capacity or intelligence to deal with issues on a global level. I believe humans can be tolerable to a multicultural civilization and also have the right to be different. To say we must all be generic to advance society or we are terrorists is wrong. For example, I believe we must work together without imposing our political views. We talk about invasive species and how they can destroy ecosystems and create a domino effect of changes to its structure that can have catastrophic implications even if the species is a cousin to a pre-existing species. I see human activity and global interest of democracy and intolerance of differences as an invasive species, especially if it's forced upon a people. Does the end really justify the means? As we all know, more advanced civilizations have always destroyed the less advanced ones. The Greek, the Romans, the Spanish, the Egyptians, Genghis Khan and the Mongolians, and the Americans. They all had the same thing in mind: globalization. The governments have changed, of course, from monarchs to pharaohs, dictators, and now democracy. But the methods and goals are all the same. When we eradicate what a small percentage of minds see as inferior, does that not have implications that we are not as advanced as we think? For example, 19 hijackers backed by Saudi billionaire son, who happened to be trained by Americans in order to defeat the Soviet Union in the Soviet-Afghan War, killed 3,000 people on 9/11. Does that really give democracy a free pass to fix a mistake it made in the early to late 80s by not making sure we don't repeat the mistake, but use it as an excuse to kill 100,000 in an unjustified war to further push our agenda and create more destabilization in the East? I find that hard to buy. And if democracy is really for the people and by the people, why aren't we told all this information so we can make a collective and conscious decision on such matters? Is it because we are seen as too ignorant and stupid to understand or create a more diplomatic way of thinking? I also do not buy that notion. We can't rest the weight of the world and the future of it on the shoulders of a few. We must collectively interact and share ideas to come up with the most effective plan to set forth for the greater good of humanity. What makes government leaders, business leaders, or those that possess H-1B visas the right to make those types of decisions which have global implications without the input of those which will have to absorb the impact of those decisions? That is not a democracy. It's a well-dressed, beautifully cloaked version of monarchy and dictatorship all in one. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. That's not me speaking, that's Einstein. We have not changed our approach from the barbarians to the Egyptians to the Greeks to the Romans and now democracy. We just dressed it up beautifully and changed the names. Today, I challenge whoever thinks otherwise. To evolve to a greater being, we must become benevolent creatures. And none of these societies truly tried, not even ours. We are not as far from primal as we think. We can be better, but only when we realize what we have to change. The fact that we have become apes with clothing and music and great wondrous toys we call technology does not make us any better than societies before us. As long as there are secret interests, wars with no real basis, and egos that are larger than the universe itself, we will not advance. There will always be resistance which can destroy the fabric of society as we know it. We cannot be closed-minded. We must open our minds to expand ourselves. And for that, we need collective thinking and not a small percentage of people making all the decisions for us. This is Dysfunctional Genius. Like, comment, subscribe, and remember, exercise your right to expand your mind. Thank you for listening.